I
All
am
right.
ordering junk food now and stuff I'm
Excellent.
gonna put alcohol in.
All right. Well,
We'll do that with that influence.
that was the first 5 seconds of a recording. All right. Welcome everyone to
Oh
the
God.
wild and wonderful world of when madmen lead the blind. Today, our cantankerous near do wells are going to arrive in the great throes of America's second city, the windy city, Chicago. Now, I'm going to open up here with a little intro narration for you all. The night is dark. Fog. Fog rolls in from the lake as it does during the late hours. It pools through the granite canyons, flowing into the furrows of the river and flowing south to the great bowels of the United States. The sun has long since been snuffed out by the bulk of the earth. The air is cool, bitingly so, if one could still feel. The fog flows through the slows of the older ways. Streets separated white and black, white and Polack, white and Latino, lines splitting things in halves, rivers as walls, hills as citadels, watchtowers against once perceived lesser races. The vestiges of these old ways are sewn into the flesh of Chicago. Chicago is a city of binaries, the in and the out, the good and the bad, the celebrated and the denigrated. She is known as the second city, and this status causes her to lash out, aggressively defending her eccentricities, whether warranted or otherwise. It is no different for the kindred. Ventrue, Toreador, and Tremere hold sway over the city's center, the triumvirate of the Camarilla, the loop to the kin, but the hive to the kindred. The La Sombra have fallen into the Camarilla, having rejected their Sabbat forebears. Can a leopard change its spots? Can the faithful be truly shorn of their faith? The kindred of Chicago muddle this. The La Sombra have yet to move into the territories of the traditional Camarilla. This has upset the stately ebb and flow of the past, and as a river unmoored from its course worms its way through the landscape in savage ways, these new rivulets have yet to form into a stable torrent. The river and the city are in a stage of precarious order, teetering on chaos. The other clans lie in the periphery, the foreign hamlets of Chicago, those far-off fortresses where eyes can gleam the loop with its crystalline towers and the tantalizing bounty of dominion over a great city. What of these crystalline towers? What lies upon their top? The hawk whose gaze peers down across the lands. Prince Kevin Jackson. He acquired the roost unceremoniously. The prior prince was ousted after Chicago failed to acquire the 2016 Olympics. It's a long story, but put curtly, the kindred have the tendency to put their money where their kind are putting their money, and the lucrative development of an Olympic game was far too tempting. When it failed to materialize, a head had to roll. That head was that as the prior prince, Joseph Peterson. Kevin Jackson runs a tight roost. He broke the three major gangs in Chicago to secure a brief peace for the Olympic bid. Years later, the gangs still have not reorganized into something approaching an entente. He's rumored to have spearheaded the downfall of the prior prince, but he doesn't care much for idle chatter. He's been cracking down on the lupines moving into the city from the exterior territories, trying to avail themselves of perceived kindred weakness. Yet, these forces ebb and flow according to the dictate of his whim, seemingly, perhaps actually, but the optics are that they remain static. It's a curiosity. Now, after that initial opening narration, you have entered into Chicago proper. If I recall, two of you have come into the city at the behest of your clan, whereas the other two of you are native Chicagoans, as much as you can be in your undead state. So at present, let's just go from the top of the list and discuss how you are going to go downtown to central Chicago to the prince's headquarters to have a meeting with him and the other cohorts who soon become your unwitting coterie. From the top, Ambrosi, how do you arrive in downtown Chicago? It's about 10 p.m. right now. The fog is rolling in. There's a bitter cold clinging to the air. The city is aflutter with activity.
So as I walk into Chicago, I'll be, just like going where I feel is right, like going where I'm kind of being called to by my previous visions, and um, and essentially I'll just be walking the entire time, going from alley to alley, avoiding the main roads and groups of people.
Okay, why don't you give me a quick composure and resolve roll? What you can do is you can click composure, and then when you select ability, you can also tack on resolve, and it will roll both of them at the same time. Bang up job. As you avail yourself of your prior visions and your ability to sense the way that the blood sings to you in such a way that it calls to you, that it proffers to you wisdom and glimpses phantasms from the future in the past and the present. You remember a white citadel, a peat-rain precipice looming over the city like a pale horse, and you see it in downtown Chicago, a brilliant white, almost marble-clad skyscraper, and that, you know, is your destination, and you arrive swiftly and soundly. Now, Francois, the same for you. How do you arrive at the prince's stately residence, which, if I recall, you are a native Chicagoan in some sense, correct, Francois?
Yes, I am a native to Chicago. Well, as native as a vampire is to anywhere.
Most true, Francois, most true. Well,
I arrive, as I frequently do, in a stretch limo that is filled with a cadre of those who I revel with. I leave them in the car and have to be pulled around the block back to the club. But I exit the car alone, wearing the finest of clothes, stuff that is both showing my wealth and showing the incredible time that I frequently have, while also showing off the body that I have and the incredulity of it that it must impart on all the mere mortals.
perfect. Why don't you give me a charisma manipulation roll as you arrive into the front of the building?
Charisma or manipulation, or
You can do both. Just click on one, and then I'll ask select ability, and then you can click manipulation and just click roll. Wow! Your entrance into the front of the Prince's Alabaster Citadel is boisterous, expected, and yet nonetheless still has the impact it always does on those brief moments where the Prince seeks to see you in person. The doormen out front give you a faint glance and a smirk as they then regain their composure. Now, Mercurio, my dear friend, and if I recall, you are a foreigner to this great second city, correct?
Indeed.
How do you make your way into the Alabaster Citadel upon which the prince has called you and your clan?
In a taxi with a single suitcase from the O'Hare International Airport. I have a headache already. I don't know if all the colors smell so much because I'm crazy, as they say, or because airports really do smell that bad. I'm uncomfortable, but I look neutral and composed, as always, in my modest but not necessarily modern clothing, as always. That if anyone takes note of, it is their problem, as always.
Perfect. Give me a composure and resolve roll.
Certainly.
Oh, I think you accidentally just clicked it. Click on the composure and then select resolve and then roll it.
Okay. Right. Where am I clicking? I'm sorry.
That's
Did I
fine.
break out the roleplay?
You click on your sheet, you go to your stats,
Okay.
you click on composure, and it'll open it up, and then you'll see select ability, and then you can scroll down and click resolve, and then click roll, and it will do both of them. There, it just did it.
Thank you.
The task of maintaining your composure over the boorishness of an airline flight, especially into O'Hare, which is not known for its simplicity, is quickly picked up by the front guards of the Alabaster Citadel. They give you a faint nod, an almost knowing glance of, O'Hare, am I right? As they give you a faint tip of the hat, and then continue their standing in the front of the Alabaster Citadel. Now, Victor, my good man, if I recall, you are also a native Chicagoan, correct? As much as you can be. Are you there, Victor?
Sorry, my thing was mute. Indeed. So Victor is of course in his limo in the back seat with his slot, the servitude ghouls of the Timitsi's clan, one that horribly disfiguredly his arms are pretty much attached to the driving wheels that only just up. So Victor is sitting, of course, in the back seat. He is merely just riding and somewhat annoyed that he has to go deal with this young prince and what he demands of. He didn't think that being the oldest Tamitsi would, and being the Permergen, would be such a hassle sometimes.
With power comes great responsibility and the annoyance in wielding it. You enter into the front of the building. You're shuffled into an elevator with the rest of your cohort. This is likely, I believe that Victor and Francois have likely bumped into each other in some capacity, correct?
Oh, yeah. Victor looks at Francois and goes, Francois, always a pleasure to see you at these functions.
And you as well, Victor.
How is my rent going to be coming along this month?
Oh, Victor, there is no reason to worry about things like this on a night such as this.
True. He takes a look at Ambrosia and Mercurial because they're both in the elevator too, right?
Yep, the elevator doors shut. The guards give you a faint tip of the hat as they lean in, push the button to the top floor, scan their fingerprints, and the doors shut with a resounding click, and the elevator starts its steady climb to the 97th floor.
And you two may be...
Ambrosi, I had a calling here. And who might you be?
Victor Eder. A pleasure to meet you.
Victor Eder. Where is that name from? That's quite interesting.
Romania. Though I know I don't have the accent at all times. Sitting here in Chicago has definitely gotten rid of it. Especially when your tenants can't understand a word that you speak.
How peculiar.
Mercurial will offer a half smile despite how tired and frazzled he's looked.
Oh.
Multilingual? It's been a long time since I've been able to study.
No, I mean, yes, of course. Romania will never leave my heart. Are you okay? You look very tired and upset.
Thank you for asking, Victor. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Mercurial, representative on behalf of the Malkavian clan tonight.
The oracles and the seers. How quaint.
I just flew in and it was disgusting.
Chicago is not known for its cleanliness, but you'll find the people and food here are quite well. If you can eat, that is.
I should hope so. We will see what I'm assigned. Nice to meet you, Victor.
Nice to meet you too.
And he's also going to nod and look at Francois directly, as if to make sure he remembered him, say his name, Francois.
Francois will kind of like twirl his hand a little bit and bow very deeply. It is good to make your acquaintance as well.
Use the awkward elevator silence.
I mean, I'm just going to be sitting there, kind of ignoring everything. Like, what is occurring in the world isn't really all that important.
If
So
any,
tell me, where are you all from?
Hmm.
Not you, of course, not Victor. I know where you are from.
Yes, Romania. I believe we've had the conversations as many of times.
So fascinating, this city. So many intersections of life and people.
Mercurio is offered another half smile at that, but says nothing. If I may ask, what color is Victor's shirt?
Just black.
What about Francois?
Francois is wearing kind of like a very heavy jacket, but like it's, open in the middle, and he's clearly shirtless under the jacket.
Is anyone wearing anything brightly colored?
ooh,
Victor,
I am wearing white.
Great. Mercurio is going to breathe a sigh of relief as the elevator ride goes on, and he shakes off the chaos of the day. Or night.
Francois and Victor think to themselves why the prince makes the elevator so extremely slow and why he insists on not having music inside of it. It's so miserably dull.
Victor thinks to himself, it's because he's poor. He don't got that bank.
It's because no, it's because he's trying to make you think and remember your place. The very fact you cannot distract yourself with the thought of meeting the person in front of you. That is his goal.
It's long and empty, just like your climb through undeath. The elevator reaches the top, and the reassuring ding, ding, as the door slides open, revealing a long, marble-clad hallway with wolf pelts on the walls. Down at the end is a steel door with 4 guards in front of it. They silently gesture for you to head down the hall. Francois and Victor, you know the customary procedure. Keep your hands at your sides and keep moving forward until you hit the door.
Victor actually takes a note at the wolf pelt and goes like, I can't say. As much as I disagree with the prince, his choice of decorations is always one I can also respect. Flesh on the wall is a very unique look. He continues to walk.
Perfect.
I think it fails to be very exciting, honestly, but we always have this conversation whenever we come here at the same time.
I just like that there is flesh on the wall. There is nothing wrong with that.
It's
I
so
have
dull
something
and
to
drab,
call
though.
it.
How can you enjoy this?
It's the matter of power. Because the prince is on about his lupin hunt. If you ask me, you could just kill all the wet dogs in one night if you took the time.
Exactly. What is it saying when you display that you've managed to kill a bunch of dogs? That you are stronger than a dog?
I believe that is the case, but I don't understand the venture. I don't understand him and his pride and whatnot. I just like the decoration, Francois. There's no good thing more than that.
Every decoration is saying something, Vincent, Victor.
Well, that's why you don't decorate my house.
Fair enough.
They just keep walking.
I can't believe it was like
We've
two.
had this conversation before, by the way.
Like several times.
You hear a. I really appreciate it if you two would not always complain about the werewolf pelts every time you come into my home. As the loudspeaker comes off.
Victor says a lot. I was not complaining about it. I was saying that I enjoy it. Francois is the one who's complaining about it.
All I am saying is that we do not know that these are werewolf pelts. They appear to be, they are clearly lupine in nature, but I would like to see the heads before I declare them werewolf pelts. That is my only umbrage.
Ambrosi and Mercurio, is there anything you would like to do in this particularly long hallway. Would you like to scrutinize anything?
Um, I'm looking at my character sheet right now, trying to figure out what we call investigation and insight in this game. It's been
It's
a while since I
investigation.
played on the descend system.
It's investigation.
Oh, okay.
Where is insight? One moment. Am I a lunatic? Let me see here. Oh, yeah, insight is just insight still. Yeah, they have the same skill tree.
Okay. I just making sure. Let me.
Yeah, I will just be like standing back, walking kind of slowly, just casually looking around, but nothing particularly interesting to me.
Actually, Ambrosi, as you look down, you notice that there's actually a very small placard underneath each pelt detailing the werewolf's name, when they were killed, and how they were killed.
Oh, interesting. One was the earliest, and one was the latest killed.
Oh god, let me remember this. If I recall, outwardly, it was April 1996 seems to be the earliest killed werewolf. Francois and Victor will know that that date coincides with the Lupine invasion in 1996, where the werewolves invaded various vampiric sanctuaries and actually managed to kill a significant portion of Chicago's vampiric community, which then caused a retaliation where the werewolves were hunted down cold, and a very tentative peace has been in place ever since. And these werewolves, whose pelts are displayed, are those who violated the peace treaty that was brokered between the vampires and the lupines.
And the plaques say this or indicate this?
They
Or
do.
just that- Okay.
It would be to Francois and Victor, because they are native Chicagoans. They've been here for a while. It's a pretty common motif, is Lupine invasion of 1996. It's a thing that springs upon people's minds. You know, it'd be like the vampiric equivalent of like 9/11 in Chicago or something. Like, it was horrifying. Like, several elder vampires died. It actually, Victor and Francois will know this, that there is a rumor that this particular incident, this lupine invasion, was strangely advantageous for the prince, and shortly after, he rose up a few pegs on the vampiric corporate ladder, so to speak, at least within the confines of the Ventrue clan. You enter through the door into the main foyer, and you are escorted down the hallway until eventually you arrive in the main room that Mr. Jackson likes to keep well put together. You'll notice that this entire floor has 0 windows. The walls are especially thick and reinforced with steel and are blast-proof. He is a very paranoid man. You enter into the main foyer, and he is standing there. He is a tall black man, about his mid-40s, wearing a 3-piece suit and wearing a fur coat. It looks fox-like, but the head is a little mangled, and people like to rumor it used to be the leader of one of the Lupine clans that he wears around his shoulders as a display of force. And other people just think it's a vintage fur coat. No one's ever gotten close enough to check, though. He gestures for the 4 of you to sit down in 4 convenient chairs. The only other person in the room is Damien, his sheriff, who has the unfortunate burden of being a 14-year-old black kid. And he is the most powerful sheriff in the entire city. He is far stronger and far older than he lets on. He uses that to his advantage. As you enter the room, he actually clenches his fists, gives a stern glance in one of your directions. The one who knows will know. Unclenches.
The Victor looks. Hi there, Damien. Yeah there.
He exhales deeply.
I
see
heard
him.
your new song. It sounds like it's coming along very nicely.
Yeah. I'll send you the latest mixtape, homie.
Don't worry about it, homie. I own the building. I can just go through all the computers and, delete it by chance. Maybe. Who knows?
You see him clench his fists even harder, Prince Jackson turns to the side, places his hand on his shoulder, and gives him a little nod. Victor, what have I told you about antagonizing Damien, at least within the tower?
Oh, I apologize. I thought that Damien, who, likes to hang around children, looks like a child, would like to joke like a child. Help him get into that mindset of how he makes music. That sounds like a child makes it.
Mercurio is going to subtly step a little bit further away from Victor.
But it's all in good fun, Prince. Isn't that right, Damien?
Yeah. All in good fun.
And Victor goes and takes the first seat.
So the rest of you sit down.
Yes.
So is this kind of like a conference table, like a round table, or is this like a long table?
It's like a really over-the-top executive desk that you would see from like the mid-70s, up to like late 80s or something. It's big, it's marble, it's got stately wooden legs. It looks like he spent a fair amount of time and effort getting it into this room because it is too large to fit through the door. It seems that the room was built around the desk, which is very interesting. As you sit down, he asked you if you would any of you like to care for a beverage or anything? We have some excellent 18th century hemophiliac on reserve.
I would like the 1783 consumption bloods that you have.
Excellent
Which,
choice.
in my mind, is incredibly rare, incredibly expensive, but he made the mistake of offering it to Francois once, and so now Francois knows about it and always asks for it.
Francois, why do you always abuse my charity?
What can I say? I enjoy your stocks.
No need any blood for me.
And for you, Ambrosi and Mercurio, anything to sate your palates? I mean, we have things on offer that can't be found anywhere else within the new world.
Whichever you recommend, thank you. I'm parched.
We have some very excellent people who suffered under the Trail of Tears. Very rare vintage. Would that
Mercurio... Yeah, okay, go on.
would that wet your whistle, perchance?
Mercurio just nods stiffly.
I sense a little apprehension. Maybe something a bit more humane.
Why, thank you.
Of course.
That will be fine.
Snaps his fingers. A porter appears seemingly out of the aether, takes your orders, and you see Prince Jackson sit down at his table, open up a briefcase, and kind of start sorting out some papers and putting them into 4 neat little piles. When he finishes, almost precisely, the porter returns with your beverages and doles them out. 18th century, the 1783 for Francois, and a little bit of hemophiliac for everyone else. Pre-industrial. None of those boorish heavy metals that tarnish the blood, you know. Well, now that you all have your beverages, I imagine we're down here for brass tacks. Now, one of you is not exactly an invitee, although I recall some brujas telling me that someone was going to be coming by, which I find a bit odd. Normally they don't tell me anything in regards to premonitions, so... Ambrosi, is it?
Yes, good sir. I'm sorry that I came by so uninvited, but I'm sure I will be of great use in what I presume the task is.
I appreciate your candor, and frankly, I was forewarned of your meeting. It's very intriguing that you arrived as curtly and as promptly and as coincidentally as you did. I'll be interested to see what you can bring to this particular problem that we have here before us. Now, I imagine that you understand that there's a bit of a biological crisis kind of coursing through the land of the kindred at present.
Is it let's not. Is it more the flock rather than the kindred which has experienced the greatest suffering so far?
That is true, but what is a shepherd without sheep? They are nothing.
I would certainly agree to a very distinct part. I am nothing without my property nor my people.
We are the
My,
land.
my tenants have been suffering from this issue you've mentioned, a good handful of them. So, are you saying that something else is causing this? Something much more along the lines of the kindred themselves?
It could be, although I don't know why any vampire would ever want to cut off our blood supply.
Well, you always note that perhaps there will be a handful of vampires or kindred that do not think of our way of life as a blessing, but rather a curse. Or perhaps the Second Inquisition might want to wipe the slate clean. Those of us bastards are always up to something no good.
They definitely are. And speaking of that, there's even whispers of First Light moving into the exterior territories, but that's a matter for another time. I have other agents handling that particular problem. What we have here is a strange disease broke out through the rack. Now, I imagine Francois and Victor, you know what the rack is, do you not?
Yes.
Good. I suppose I'll explain it to our newcomers. The rack is a very defined district in downtown Chicago. It has one of the highest concentration of bars in the entirety of the United States. There's drunks, people that are high, people on all manner of substances. It's very easy to feed there and not find yourself in any spot of trouble because they'll pass it off as just a scrape or a bump or a bit of a blackout. As such, it's the only place in town vampires are allowed to freely feed without my express permission. About 3 days ago, there was an outbreak, and the mayor and the rest of the city council has shut down the rack, and every person succumbed to some strange malady has been shunted off to hospitals all over Cook County. It's a problem. Now, do you know what the strangest thing about it is?
It affects kindred too, or
No. If it affected kindred, we would all be in suits right now, Victor, would we not?
I don't know. Sometimes we like to play things very much fast and loose, Prince. Careful, but fast and loose.
Sometimes speed is its own efficiency. I think you're aware of that, aren't you, Victor? I imagine you're popular sometimes with the ladies.
I have no needs for any of those carnal pleasures anymore. I have them in other places. Like decorating my house.
Oh,
Training
yes.
new pets.
Ah, yes, your decorum is most distinctive. No. The issue with this new outbreak is that despite this unknown disease being so dangerous that they shut down the bar, the number of cases is low, which strikes me as odd. People packed into a bar, tight quarters, drinking, breathing, coughing, wheezing, sneezing. And yet there's very few reported cases in the news. Why is that? If it's something so dangerous, the only reason they would do that is if it was contagious. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So why did they shut down one of the lifebloods of central Chicago? The Venture are hemorrhaging money off of this, and that's bad enough. But the secrecy is strange. We can't even get any feelers into the upper levels of the health department. Even our normal contacts can't seem to make sense of what they're hiding. We need...
Like me to go speak to the mayor then.
We've tried that angle. I think we're going to need to do something a bit more direct. Are the four of you intrigued by the concept of espionage?
Espionage.
Although I don't believe we are fully equipped to give a medical opinion, I believe we would have left that mortal aspect a long time ago.
We have our thralls and our contacts. What we need is the data that's inside the hospitals where these victims are located. That will let us get our heads in the game and at least start to figure out what's going on. These plagues... Go ahead.
Victor interrupts him and goes, "Have you actually spoken to the mayor?"
Don't you think I can just traipse into that office and flash around a couple of $100,000 worth of checks and get an audience? I've done that. They're very hush-hush. It seems to be coming from somewhere higher up. I could bribe, but it'll take time, and I don't... Well, we all have time, but there's a certain expediency here.
How lenient are you about getting information?
It depends. What are you proposing, my dear friend Victor?
Well, as you know, the plan to meet these Vixtude and other methods of changing ones can also be used differently. What I'm offering is to take a mayor, perhaps a night alone with him, and I can get you the information you require.
That would be interesting, but I don't think the mayor has his direct hands on the medical records that are housed in the hospital. They haven't digitally uploaded them yet. Trust me. I've got a couple of vampires who know how to work a keyboard, and they've tried. They're keeping them on paper for some strange reason. We need to know why. I think the easiest way to get to this is to honestly break into the hospitals and examine the patient records yourselves, where the victims are located in the ICU units, because every single one of them is in the ICU, which is another problem as well. Why are they in intensive care? Why isn't this being publicly broadcasted? And why are even we out of the dark? There's something big going down here. Something bigger than us, which is concerning.
Understood. Would you mind if I take charge on this mission, Prince?
I prefer, in situations where I have assembled a crew, that they leave it to themselves to determine who gets to run point. I'll have the four of you discuss your approach if you're willing to take on this mission. Now, Victor, I imagine that you are wholeheartedly in support of our mission to keep Chicago safe.
I am in the mission to keep my properties and my tenants safe. So by that logic, yes, half of Chicago safe.
Why does the baker bake bread, Victor?
To make me money.
Does he do it out of the goodness of his heart?
Oh, more times not, he does it to feed his own family and himself.
Exactly.
Selfish creatures. I think we all know where my heart lies.
So I can sense that your greed will be useful in this situation. Now, Mercurio, Francois, and Ambrosi, are you interested in this mission?
I mean, of course, otherwise I would not be here.
For you, my prince, anything.
On my... Oh, crap. Sorry, I'm trying to remember how to pronounce it. I'm looking at my character sheet. By the blood of Golconda.
Now that is serious. Alright. Well, you have the resources of the Principality at your disposal in this particular situation. What is it? About 10 p.m.? It's the night shift at the hospitals. They've only been taken to 3 of them. The Illinois Medical Center, the University of Chicago's Medical Center in downtown, that's actually not far away from here, and strangely enough, one of the hospitals out in Evanston. I think you can still manage to catch one of the subway lines that run out there. The mayor has extended them lately due to COVID to keep people in and out of town, so we'll see what we can manage.
Can I roll something to see if there's any tenant in my apartment complexes that works at the hospital?
That is very interesting. Why don't you give me a percentile roll, and I will give it to you if it is under 10 or below.
So,
Actually, how many units do you have?
I mean, I have like 5 wealth, so I just assumed I like owned like large.
Okay, I will give it to you from 20 or below.
Okay. Slash R 100.
The one time where 100 isn't useful. Actually, you know what? That's a crit. I'll give it to you. One of your tenants works at a hospital. You don't know which one, though. They are located in one of your properties in the west side of Chicago, actually fairly adjacent to the Illinois Medical Center. So even if you were to go over there, check them out, and seem to recollect whether or not they work at that hospital, you will still be close enough to one of the locations you have to investigate.
Perfect. Victor looks at the rest of the group and he goes, I have a tenant that works in one of those hospitals. Chances are I could probably take her uniform, turn it to her, and then sneak right on in with you all. But we need to give you all a good outfit change and whatnot.
This tenant of yours, how are you related? It might be more beneficial to have them bring us in. What is better, than an actual credential than a forged one?
If we're trying to find, no, I'm not going to forge a credential. I'm just going to take what you need to get inside the hospital, and that's all that needs to be done.
Well, I do not know about an outfit change, but otherwise this sounds quite good.
This sounds like the wisest plan at this point.
Francois, you look like a hooker, and a good kind, but not the best kind.
Ah, but what hooker is not going to the hospital at all hours of the night?
Well, I believe that it would be too late for an STD test, but again, that's your thing. Okay, so, let us go into the limousine, catch ourselves to this apartment complex. I need to just go ahead and handle this tenant, and I need to make a call. Prince, you can just let them in on any other information they need. And Victor kind of stands up and goes to the corner room and begins to make some calls to find out at his home where this tenant lives exactly in the apartment she's in.
Alright, let me see what the hell you have to roll here. This would just be, let me see here, streetwise, technically. Honestly, I would just go with streetwise on this one. That actually isn't that bad. Streetwise and charisma. Give me a streetwise and charisma roll.
Well, so I'm calling back at my mansion for my other ghouls to just go through my paperwork and find me the tenant.
Okay, let's see how long it'll take them to do that then. Let me double check. Let me see here. Investigations. Just give me a. Let me see. When are your.
I just like to think that there's just like one flesh one that's just attached to the computer all
God, that's so gross.
Working.
My will is to serve.
No, actually, it's you invented the first smart system, because the computer does everything for you. You speak to it and it does it. It is someone that is flesh bonded to the machine.
Has anyone ever seen the
watching
movie?
you type on the keyboard?
Has anyone ever seen the first Blade movie? Remember that weird fleshy big vampire that was on front of all the computers?
Alright, you have that guy. I'm going to say that it takes them about 15 minutes to kind of sort through everything, and they tell you that you have one resident, Nicola Ratchet, who works at the Illinois Medical Center, actually, oddly enough, and she is actually about to start her shift. Actually, give me a percentile roll. And let me think here. Okay. Name a percentile range, like a range of 10, and the closer you are to that range, the more likely that her shift is going to start this evening rather than a different time.
let's say 20. Let's say 15 to 25.
15 to 25. All right, go ahead and roll me that D100. What?
Oh my god.
Why are you like this? Her shift starts tomorrow in the morning, which does not behoove you at all. Hey, actually, I have to go use the privy really quick. Do we want to take a 5-ver to refresh our beverages before we get back into the thick of it?
Sure.
Sure.
All right, perfect. All right, we will be back at 7:08. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are into the wild and wonderful world of when madmen lead the blind. Our characters have now received the task of determining the locus of a strange infection coursing through the wreck of downtown Chicago. They have to avail themselves of some hospitals and commit some HIPAA violations, but we won't tell anyone. So, so
We aren't committing HIPAA violations, right? Because we're not medical professionals at all.
I'm going to reread that act and see whether or not we are committing HIPAA violations, because I think it'd be funny if you all get, like, sued for... Nah, that'd be dumb. So, what we have here now is we have the hook, which is you need to acquire the information from the hospital. Due to some ridiculous rolling on the part of Victor, I should have anticipated this. You have someone who works at the hospital, the Illinois Medical Center, one of the 3 locations that you have to canvass. It is about 10:45 p.m. I imagine that you all went into Victor's limousine on your way out, or did you take your separate motor vehicles and then reconnoitered at the home of the nurse?
Victor would probably have asked all of them to get into the limo with him. Victor's gonna go, this is all travel in the same limo. I wish to speak to all of you guys. All of you would understand what exactly I'm working with.
Mercurio will have ridden with Victor.
I mean, I'll kind of ride with this strange fellow.
Francois will take his own limo.
I don't like his limo. It's beige. I don't care for beige.
I'm just concerned about the interior decoration of his limo.
Oh God.
Let's just look like a normal.
It's just a normal. Oh, thank God. Oh, I was so concerned it was gonna be weird.
So the way that his limo, it's like a normal limo, right? But if you look through like the little limo thing in the driver's seat, you notice that it's like the bottom half of the guy is like nothing, is like there, right? But it just seems like it's stuck to the seat itself. Like his hands are always like on the wheel and on the the thingy that you use to go in reverse and shit like that. The shifter, yes.
Like, I'm guessing it's also a manual transmission or something.
Yeah, just all of it just attached to it. He cannot move his hand if he wanted to, and he's happy doing it.
That's unsettling because 10 and 2, man.
Wow, that's the real.
Live a little dangerously, okay?
Whoa. Salty spittoon tier levels of anxiety going on here. So,
I mean,
the plan here is what, everyone?
So Victor looks and goes, as a part of Clan to meet these, I am able to shapeshift my appearance by literally telling my flesh to do so. So we can go to this compartment complex. We are going to tell her, I'm going to grab her and give her some money, and then compel her to tell the hospital she's coming in today to go look through data. I will take her uniform, her keycard, and everything along those lines, and I will shapeshift it to her. We will go in, we can look at the data, and we should be able to walk right in and walk right out.
I mean, sure, but would it not be easier to suggest that she call work to tell them she needs to pick up an item that she left at her office, and that she will be coming in, to pick it up?
That's actually a very smart idea, my dear friend Rosia. Perhaps then yes. That should probably work a little bit better actually, but I need to rack her brain about where would exactly they would keep the data and whatnot. So these people can know for about 10 minutes and whatnot. I will compel her to do the same, and yeah. As the rest of you all, I should probably call some people to meet us there and give you all some assistant uniforms. You all are assisting me with the day. Does that sound fair? I can't
I'm
just have
sorry, you
Go
just
like
cut
that.
out.
Go,
Oh.
as a separate group to arouse perhaps less suspicion and of meat. You know,
Well, but at least are any of you all good with computers? Because
Oh
no.
God.
I
Is anyone?
have my servants do that. I do not understand technology very greatly, not to the point of unable to use it, but no, the prince did say that they would be on paper, so I believe I should be fine. Though I would like the backup in case. My powers are more for battle than exactly this type of espionage, but I will do whatever it takes to keep my property safe.
I'm familiar with technology.
Perfect.
and I believe I can provide some insights should I have access to the documents.
Just excuse me one moment. And he pulls out his phone and he's calling Francois and puts them on speakerphone.
This is Francois.
Francois, just want to let you know, my limo is not badly designed. It's normal. It's a normal limousine.
It is telling how much you feel the need to say that.
It hurts my feelings sometimes, Francois. But the plan is simple. We are going to go meet this tech. I will use my disciplines of unique things, and we will get the information necessary. How would you like to use your dramatic self to be a bit of a distraction?
Well, I suppose I could edit myself to the hospital. Well, I do not want to. Let me see. I have a wonderful idea. I will hop on down to the club and find whoever is in the middle of an overdose or whatever, and drive them to the hospital and draw all the attention to who this person who is overdosing.
Bring two of them if you can. No doubt in my mind that those. Your club is not known for its safety issues.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Of course not.
It's a mosquito. Sorry.
Just grab two of them if you can.
Just a bushel full of drug addicts.
And do you need a separate car? I don't think your limousine would be at all inconspicuous.
Yes, that would be a good idea. If you could send an Uber.
No. Call the ghoul. John, what's the name of the ghoul that is the one who runs the garage back at the house? Ian, I was.
Oh, you're referring to me.
Yeah.
I think he was. I think he was called Consuelo, boss.
Call Consuelo and ask him to bring you one of the cheaper ones.
You got it, boss.
Yes, that sounds doable.
Okay. I'll have him drive you to the club. He'll get out, and he's by far the most normal-looking one because he goes and gets my car's repaired. So just go handle that, Francois. I trust you with this.
Yeah, perfect. Do either of you two wish to join me? Ambrose and Julio, I think were your names.
No, it is quite alright. I need access to the physical to do my thing.
Mercurio?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch all of that, guys. Out of character.
Basically, Francois is going to scoop up two people who are
Yeah.
Francois will find two people who are either in the midst of an overdose or on the verge of one. From his club.
This is so cruel. I love it.
I mean, I got that. I'm trying to make sure I have everything because I keep trying to fiddle with the volume that I can't hear Jahi.
And so now Francois is essentially like, hey,
It's cool,
either of you
Francois.
want to come and do this with me?
Cool. Mercurio is in, and we'll do that.
All right.
Such a
Wonderful.
brilliant idea.
Victor, why do you not have... Well, why don't you have Mercurio driven to my club then?
I'll have John drop them off afterwards, okay?
Magnifique.
Also, there better not be a scratch on my car, Francois. I am entrusting you with my property.
Oh, of course not.
You know how hard that is for me to do.
Why would I, of all people, cause damage to your car? What have I ever done that would make you think that I would end up causing damage to your car?
You are about to pick up 2 people overdosing from your gay nightclub. If I find a single bit of puke in that car, I swear on Dracula.
Do not worry. There will be no puke in the car, and I hang up.
Mercurial, you're going to have to deal with Francois' drama and dramatics. I hope you're fine with that.
I'm just imagining like it looks like an orgy occurred in the back seat.
Wait, what word was that?
Orgy.
Okay.
Like, it gets back to, oh god, there's semen in the cup holder.
Wait, but there's always semen in the cup holder.
Of course, it looks vaguely like you could stick your dick in it. So
Wait, this semen's been here for at least a week.
It's cup shaped now. The cup is disintegrated, but
You've been coming in the cup holder, stop it!
I'm not in the session, but it's complimentary.
He looks at Mercurio, Victor looks at Mercurio and goes, Francois is very dramatic in a lot of ways, but never a good person.
Wait, did you say never a good person or nevertheless a good person?
No, they're a good person.
Okay. I thought you were saying I was just like, but he's not a good person.
He's a good person. Victor full-heartedly thinks Francois is a better person than he is.
oh god, this is already coming up great.
So I guess we get to the apartment and whatnot.
Yes, you arrive at the apartment. The game actually only calls for elaborate rolls whenever something,
Yeah.
whenever anything elaborately stupid happens.
Sure. Okay, Victor, you need to make a sure for a roll. If you,
Yeah, you're
looks at
fine.
Mercurio he looks at Mercurio and goes, "Do you wish to be dropped off now, or do you wish to see what I'm capable of?"
I'm sure you could amaze me. I'll be dropped off now for efficiency.
Have a nice trip, Mercurio. John, straight to Francois' club, understood?
You got it, boss.
And no talking. Sometimes people don't want to hear you yap about your old kid's baseball game. It was a decade ago. Get over it.
He was a player in the Yankees. So, all right, boss, you got it.
He was a
wait. Like a player, he's talking about a player in the Yankees, but he's from Chicago. In Chicago, like home of the Sox.
I didn't write the line.
This guy likes to cut against the grain. He is a firm Yankees fan in Chicago. He's a very brave soul. He's an extremely brave soul.
Yes, your son was great in it. Now, make sure that you get there as efficiently as possible. Come on, Ambrosi.
You got it, boss.
Let's go talk to a fine lady who works the hospital. And he, I guess, begins to head towards the door.
All right.
And I will, I guess, step out and join him. You know, there's no need for such brutish methods.
What do you mean?
Quick mesmerization and should be more than sufficient to convince, like with the phone call, more than sufficient to convince them.
No, I understand. I'm using compel. I told you that.
Out of character, is compel, like, would compel work in this situation or not?
Compel is a discipline of dominate. Compel with eye contact, the empire can issue a victim a single action command, no longer than a short sentence to be obeyed to the letter. It must be possible to complete the command in a single turn. The storyteller decides whether to interpret ambiguous commands in an unexpected or unfaithful way. Alternatively, the command can simply confuse the victim and fail.
Okay, because like out of character, I got mesmerized. So
Oh, interesting.
It's up to you. You can. He was gonna use compel. I didn't know you had memorized.
Yeah. Oh, Ian, you should probably look at the character sheet for the list of stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. You have Dominate 2, and Victor has Dominate 2, except slightly different.
I have Dominate 2, but it's to me for a favor, which means that just anything that has like a blood bond with me can't really go against me.
Oh, okay, that's slightly...
It ensures the loyalty of my servants.
I think in this case, Ambrosi might be technically better posed.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
Let me. I'm looking it up really quick here. I'm gonna pause the recording really quick. All right, welcome back, everyone. We figured out how the game works. You arrive at the front door. How do you solicit her attention? You can see that the lights are on, and you reach the conclusion that she usually works the night shift, or she works pretty late into the evening, and she has just gotten home from her shift.
Victor's gonna knock on the door.
All right. Just 1 minute. You hear a click, 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 click. Opens the door. There is a woman. She is in her mid-20s. You can see that her face mask has been pulled up as she entered the door. There's a small Jamaican flag on it. Her complexion is mild with a faint tan. You reach the conclusion that she is a Jamaican woman of stock who has been here for a fair amount of generations, and some things have kind of been mitigated by the coursing of time. How can I help you?
You do not recognize. I am Victor. I am your landlord. We've had an interview before, remember?
Oh yes. I was on time with rent this month. Is there some kind of problem?
Oh no, actually, I wish to offer you a chat. You work at a hospital that recently did a good job on a young nephew of mine, and I wish to pay you in full for that and whatnot. And also, I wish to discuss something with you. There have been some mild complaints, but I know that you are on rent every single month, same time perfectly, and I just wanted to discuss these things in person.
Yes, I suppose that's fine. Come on in, sir, and your friend as well can come right in and just make yourselves at home in the living room.
This is my associate Ambrosi. Ambrosi, please close the door after you.
Oh yeah, we don't want to let in a chill, do we?
No, of course not. Just take a seat at the table and I will. And he sits down too.
Okay, she sits down at the table. It is your customary Chicago living room. It is heavily ornamented with an overplush couch and a love seat and a single weathered leather chair with a quilt thrown over the top. You can see Chicago Cubs gear is ornamented over one side of the wall, but it is dusty and unkempt, almost like it was an afterthought that she put it up. Now, how can I help you, Victor and Ambrosi? Was it?
Yes, Ambrosi. Please use your psychology to pretty much make sure that she understands what she's exactly getting to.
Oh, sorry, I already rolled the rouse check for the mesmerize.
Alright, you're fine. So you go ahead, and as you're making eye contact with her, you may issue your command. I'm not going to bother with her willpower roll. She is your customary person, nothing extraordinary about her.
My dear, I suggest that you call work. You need to go and pick up. What do you value, mortals? What do you mortals value?
She left behind her jacket or something along those lines.
Yeah, but like just whatever. Like, if you've forgotten something at work, you need to let them know that you are coming back to pick it up.
Yes, I suppose I could have left something at work, but what did I leave?
Wallet. Make it simple. That's important.
Yes, my wallet.
Like,
She slides her hand down to her side, pats the side of her pants. There's no wallet in it. Ah, yes. Of course. I left my wallet.
I'm also going to nudge him to make sure you have the wallet on you when you're entering.
No, understood. Also tell her to bring me a change of her work clothes and her ID, and along with that, write down on a piece of paper her code and where we can find data on recent studies, I guess.
And Ben's like, so Ben, I suggest that once you call work, you should lie down and, go to bed. You have worked hard today. You deserve sleep. You can turn your phone off too.
You're right. One of those gentlemen did die from MRSA.
Interesting.
I will go take a lie down. She gets up, walks into her closet in the nearby bedroom, and pulls out one of her fresh outfits. And she hands you her key card. And you can see from her key card that she does not work in the ICU unit. She works in pediatrics, which is on. You can quickly discern this through some Googling that is on the lower level of the hospital, and the ICU is on the top floor because the generators are housed on the top floor.
That's okay. That's fine. We just need to get in. We just need to be able to go talk to a doctor of that sake. All right. He takes the clothes. He leaves $1,000 out of his wallet on the woman, just for a hard time. Let's see. Anything else? I believe that's it. Simple as it could be.
Victor, my good sir, I believe she mentioned something about a MRSA virus. Did you quite catch that?
One of the doctors in the ICU said that one of the patients from the rack died of MRSA, but he was the only one that died of MRSA.
We'll find out more about it when we get to the hospital. I believe that this is a good clue for what we can expect when we get there. Actually, this is perfect information. Anyway, I believe that should be everything now.
Yes. I'm gonna, just basically touch, see if I can get a, feel off of one of her, belongings. Off of her, the coat that she had, worn to work.
You want to do an Auspex with that?
Correct.
Correct. Let me just quickly look up Auspex and double check.
What is it? Spirit's touch?
Yeah, I have the disciplines up right here. So you're going to be doing heightened senses?
Oh no, I should, Spirit's touches...
Oh, you're level 4 Auspex?
Yeah,
my god!
I could get up to, level 3 and then spend the, experience. The 20 experience.
Okay, go
for protein.
Okay, go ahead and give me an intelligence Auspex roll.
Oh, first of all, I believe I need to rouse first.
Yeah,
right?
go ahead and make your rouse check to see if this burns some blood points.
Nah, I'm good.
And you're fine. Wow, you are killing it today with these blood checks. Alright, go ahead and give me intelligence plus Auspex. Now, what information do you seek to glean from this garment?
How do I add the Auspex? I only get the stats.
Roll the Auspex, and then it should give you the option to roll intelligence.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, so what I'm trying to glean is, the feeling of a conversation. How was the other person when describing the death? The other doctor she was talking to.
The doctor?
Yeah, the doctor that had mentioned that the patient had died of MRSA. Just trying to get a feel.
You
for
can't.
If they remember
You can't.
the body language. If it was he was really frightened, worried, or kind of unconcerned for the death.
You grab the garments, and your touch and the cloth reminds you of the memory of the time that is imprinted upon its fabric. You can sense anxiety, worry, concern, and the feeling of a learned man who doesn't understand what is going on. A fear of a lack of knowledge, an intense fear, palpable, cognizable, and ever present. When the nurse was told this information, the doctor was intensely afraid.
Victor, perhaps we have a bigger issue. Humans do not seem to understand the nature of this virus.
Interesting.
We should make contact perhaps at a later date with this doctor.
Indeed. She will be our eyes and ears right now. Perhaps I can make her a ghoul, keep update on her so often.
Yes, but we shouldn't keep the others waiting. Their theatrics may have begun already.
Meanwhile, outside, Mercurio and Francois are just doing lines.
So, yeah, Victor just gonna start heading back to anything else happen.
No, she does as she was told, and she retires to bed, phones into the hospital that she is coming in, and to expect her.
Gotcha. He takes the clothes, and I guess he'll just start heading back to Limo.
Yes. Oh, of course. As you are exiting out into the apartment, a gallant woman descends from the upper floors and makes contact with you, Victor, and she gives you a faint wink.
Jody, it's so good to see you. What are you doing?
I didn't think you'd be out here at this time of night, Victor. What are you doing, my little scamp?
I am, taking my friend, Albrosi to their first shift at the hospital. Wants the clothes.
You're just holding these. How are you holding the clothes, Ambrosi? Ambrosi?
Oh, I say, oh, this is quite nothing. I'm like trying to cloud her memory. But it's like, you can forget.
Victor,
Still
like,
not
glares at him. Do not.
Ambrosi, give me an.
Like, this is a mortal, right? We're dealing with.
This is...
Give me an insight intelligence roll. And you may do a deception counter if you so desire. Victor.
Victor is not. He's just kind of... He's not ashamed of this at all.
Okay, I imagine a 2 is sufficient. Victor, do you wish to explain what is going on to your friend Ambrosi? Now, this is out of character. This is something Ambrosi would apprehend. You can keep it curt.
Victor looks at Ambrosi and goes, "This is my friend of Jody's the partner. I mean, the partner, if that makes sense."
Oh, of course. I'm gonna like lower my hand and just say, we are doing this poor woman a favor, taking her, clothes to the dry cleaners for her.
As you know, I am a charitable man, Jody.
Out of character, is the illness sort of like known throughout Chicago, or is it like kind of like if you know, you kind of know, but the general public's kind of not really aware?
Give that to me again.
So is the illness sort of like known as like, hey, there's something kind of, going around, or people are like, yeah, they don't know about it at all?
There's been reports of the rack being shut down because of some strange infections. Considering the battery of illnesses that have occurred over the past 20 years, people have gotten into a kind of the boy who cried wolf scenario, and they take it a little less seriously than health officials would want them to.
Understood. So yeah, just mentioning. So yes, we're just taking good care of our really good healthcare workers,
Indeed.
aren't we, Victor?
Yeah, yes, of course. That's lovely. Jody, why would you come out at night? It's not safe at nighttime.
I was just going to come out for a smoke.
Yes, smoking. No, of course. Well, I will be on my way. It was good to see you.
I'll be seeing you later.
Yes, we still have our dinner plans this weekend.
Did you get the good restaurant this time?
There all good restaurants I get. They're not
If
last one. If you wouldn't wait, we're not gonna have this discussion for my friend. We'll talk about it later, okay?
if I have to have Honduran food one more time, I will
No.
scream.
You told me you like Honduran food. I you the best Honduran food there was, based on what Francois' other friends had said was the best
I
Honduran
only
food.
like Honduran food from Roatan. And you took me to a restaurant that was centered around the capital. You know I don't like the capital's cuisine in Honduras.
Jody, again, I will talk to you about this later. If anything, I will just have one of the chefs cook you the best food that you want this weekend.
But I want to go out. You never take me out.
I take you out all the time. I buy you the best restaurant. I'm not having this conversation right now, Jody. He kisses her on her forehead and he's like, I am leaving. Call me when you get inside safely, understood?
Okay.
And he is walking down to the limo.
And I will be following behind it.
You enter into the limo. The door shuts. You see
No,
her.
This would have been much easily handled, if we just made a forget that we were ever here.
Touch her, and I swear there will not be a person alive that can put you back together.
As you say that, you hear a ding from your cell phone, Victor.
He looked at it.
It says, "Remember, not from Roatan."
And he's gonna start doing his weird flesh thing in the car as it's driving away, and he is have to make a dexterity plus craft.
Is there a built-in DC?
No, it is difficulty 5 to mimic a specific person.
Wow, that is very high. Okay, go ahead. You're gonna have to get 5 successes.
A failure on a test yields no result, but the attribute doc is lost, while a total failure causes the looks merit to drop 1. Gotcha, okay.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, go ahead.
Dexterity. Oh, real quick, I am going to use Vixtude first to transfer my stamina into dexterity, making it a 5. So
Okay,
stamina is
that's
1.
fine.
My dex is a 5.
That was always allowed.
And then I'm going to take 1 from strength in order to shapeshift my appearance. So dexterity plus craft.
Okay, while you do that, Mercurio and Francois, how are your drug addict wrangling affairs going out there?
So we're just doing drugs.
Francois, would you like to elaborate on the scene that you have brought Mercurio into?
Well, I think that we should start in the limo. When Mercurio enters the limo, there is a table of white powder, and Francois says, welcome. Would you care to partake along with me?
Sure.
Very good. I will warn you, it is about half fentanyl. I find heroin is such weak stuff nowadays. So just so you're aware, but bon appetit. And Francois will take a hefty bump.
Oh, wait, you have to put it through someone else, though, first, before you can actually experience the narcotics, technically.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you actually have your standard drug addict in the limo, who Victor seems to always forget about. Feel free to describe your standard retinue of drug addicts you keep in your limousine in order to snort narcotics out of their bloodstream.
I mean, they're all fairly strung up at this point. Not, the best looking people. But they're doing their best. They're doing all right.
You know the term heroin chic, that, but like the opposite? Like how it actually is?
Heroin chic with a lot of tooth rot. So yeah, Francois will kind of just this is my what is it called? I don't have the feature. This is my I call them my head. Don't worry, they are all quite out of it at all times, and you're more than welcome to feed from them. They're all already quite high, and we just need to choose one or two of them. Well, two to be the ones that we admit to the hospital.
You are about to sink your teeth into one of them, and you go, wait a minute, and you roll up their sleeve, and there's a small tattoo on them with the chemical symbol for fentanyl, and you're like, oh, I'm not in the mood for fentanyl today. Which one is the cocaine one? As you run through them, looking at their tattoos, and you're like, ah, here we go. Then you sink your teeth in.
Mercurio will I'm sorry, I am fully unprepared for this situation. Look, of all the things I expected today.
Yeah, Cole really decided to just double down on being a weird drug dealing gay nightclub owner.
Alright, Mercurio will look for the one that looks the least intoxicated, just in case, since he is about to take blood from them.
That's very relative.
Just kinda, I don't know, gonna like poke one, see if it moves.
Francois, who is the most sober in your limousine aside from the driver? Oh, it's the driver! The driver's the only sober one!
Okay, well, he's got to drink from the driver, since the driver is in fact driving.
Francois looks at you like, what are you, a chump?
Mercurio's just gonna like put very gently and non-threateningly put his hands on Francois's face and look him in the eyes, like to just like get a visual of, is this guy fucking serious? And then slowly turn his head aside.
I hope you check the tattoo on that person you just sunk your teeth into, Mercurio.
I haven't yet. Or wait, I have?
I imagine you checked, and that person, it just says sober on them, and you're like, phew.
Oh, I thought I hadn't picked one yet, but that's fine. He's gonna pick one that looks the least badly off and sink in.
There's one.
Sorry.
Perfect. The two of you are now riding the high, and you have to determine how much more you want to pump into one or two of these if you want to use Francois' own flock, or if you want to cruise down to... Nice, Ken. Or if you want to perhaps just find some random homeless person and pump them full of heroin. It's your call.
It's cleanest if we use your own flock, if you don't mind.
Oh, I do not mind at all. Honestly, I think my flock would be a bit insulted if we used anyone else. And I'll just find... I'm gonna go with the most intoxicated one, and... I don't know, what would I roll to know how much drugs to give them?
That would definitely be a medic. No. Well, nah, this would be more of a... This is definitely a medicine roll. Ooh!
Would it be awareness?
Oh, God. I think with your expertise, that in narcotics, awareness would be an acceptable role in this particular situation to determine how many narcotics to give someone. You're aware of how much a particular person of a particular weight can handle. So go ahead and give me an awareness plus intelligence.
Okay.
You do a marvelous job, Francois. You dose this heroin addict. Actually, what do you dose them with?
Heroin, I guess.
You deftly, swiftly, and precisely get this heroin addict into just the right spot right before they die, where people are going to see them and go, oh, this is not good. This is not good. This is an immediate problem.
Perfect.
All right. You have a few short minutes before this person is going to die from a heroin overdose. Are you going to take them to a hospital?
Yes, and on the way from the hospital, I would like to drink from them.
Go
It
ahead.
seemed like drinking from them would kill them.
Yeah. You are aware that drinking from someone in this precarious state while they are high on heroin will kill them. So you refrain and instead decide that perhaps today lysergic acid dialthymide would be a nice refresher. You know, a little micro dosing. You've seen some of the guys out in Silicon Valley do it. You know, you want to be hip. See, you drink a little from the guy, from your lysergic dialthymide guy.
Okay, that sounds good.
And I guess we both need to be at the hospital.
Yeah, Francois, I imagine you're going to phone Victor and Ambrosi and inform them of your very, very strange.
Yeah, Victor, my compatriot, my landlord Victor.
Please cut it with the formalities and get to your point.
Oh, Victor, I have no formalities with you. Victor, I wanted to inform you that me and remind me, what is your name? Monsignor, this person who is sitting beside me, we are on the way to the hospital. We shall meet you there. I have the drug addict. He is on the verge of death, and it is beautiful. And we will be there, and it will be magnetic, Victor.
I have the woman's body, so I will meet you there.
Oh, that is
Okay.
most magnificent, Victor. And I hang up.
He looks at the Broski. Victor looks at Broski. Yeah, this form is unusual to have. But what you're going to do is we're going. Did we ever find out the name of that doctor?
You did not.
Fuck.
Oh, I thought we were just going to what is it? Fuck. Like, do I know? Like, do I have a vague opinion?
How much could a doctor cost, Michael? $10?
Wait. Quick question. Does Scry the Soul, does it show you an image of them?
I think it just gives impressions, right?
You would probably be able to reasonably ascertain who the doctor is if you encountered them, Ambrosi.
I was gonna be like, we're gonna be some CIA enhance in this bitch. Like, okay, think about when she met the doctor. Now enhance on his name tag.
Enhance!
Well, you know, what we can do is just Google like a list of the ICU doctors.
Oh, true. Okay. So, and then I have the key card, and we got all of her passwords that she has to the place.
Can you repeat that? You broke up a little bit. Can you repeat that to me?
Oh, I'm saying that we had access for like the key card and all of her passwords and stuff like that.
She doesn't have passwords. She just has her key card, which gives her access to a few of the restricted areas.
No,
But
does she have like a password to her computer?
you swipe your key card.
Okay.
That's actually pretty standard for a lot of government things. You have to have like a card by the computer.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the key card, so yeah, he's gonna head to the thing, and he's gonna keep on the lookout, and he sees. Wait, did Francis ever get into the car that Victor was having to send them their way?
As you, actually, precisely as you approach the front of the hospital, you see a limousine show up, and Francois emerges. Go ahead and take the scene, Francois.
Francois comes kind of stumbling out, dragging this half-dead person behind him. Person, as a person, you, and he's gonna point at Mercurio, help me with this.
Mercurio is going to just like, I don't know if they're gonna do like Mercurio picks up the legs and like Francois picks up the head, right? And they're just like carrying him in.
That sounds perfect.
Mercurio's gonna start screaming unless Francois would like to do that better.
Nah, I'll leave it to Mercurio.
Okay.
A few nurses emerge from the outside going, "Oh my God, what's wrong?"
He's having a drug addict.
I'm gonna actually nudge Victor. Perhaps we should, assist. You should assist them. Maybe we can get into the ICU.
You're lucky that I have a surgery room in my basement. I know how to do medical jobs. And he just keeps walking past him.
How rude. Here, we are taking a 30-second break because I have to use the John. 1 second. All right, everyone, welcome back to When Madmen Lead the Blind. My bladder is empty, which means we can actually play the game again. Our ne'er-do-wells have arrived in front of a hospital where a drug addict that they have professionally brought to the brink of death, I will remind you, professionally, is now being brought into the hospital by a variety of nurses. Victor, who is disguised as a nurse, who conveniently was his tenant, are you going to enter into the hospital grounds?
Yes.
Okay, you are going to do that as they bring in the heroin addict who is convulsing in order to cause a distraction, and one of the nurses takes a thin little metal rod out of her pocket, some kind of canister, jams it into the heroin addict's nose, and pushes it firmly, and the heroin addict comes to life again. They are vibrant.
All right.
I imagine that the only person who would actually know what this is would be, I think Francois has medicine, if I recall.
I have medicine too.
You have medicine
I do not
too.
have medicine.
All right, my mistake. Victor, you would recognize that they just administered Narcan.
Okay.
All right. Victor's gonna kind of just drift away and go, "Sorry, I was just here to go get something I left in my office and whatnot."
Yeah, that's fine, Nicola. Go ahead. Yeah, you know where your locker is. You're always really forgetful about your wallet.
I know, right? She just sorry. Victor goes and
Wow, really getting deep into character, huh?
So Victor goes towards towards the locker, looks aside, grabs his stuff, grabs the wallet, then he walks over to the computer and goes any open computers and whatnot.
There is a small diagnostic software computer inside the nurse's lounge in case they want to do a little busy work during their break. There is a key card swipe on the right side. Now,
Is there any issue with me kind of tagging along as well?
that would present difficulties. Do you want to attempt to persuade people as to why you would be there?
Oh shit, we didn't discuss this in that car, did we?
No. So Victor's gonna go. I'm happy when it's necessary. Just trust me on this, okay?
Alright, I'll just be waiting out, waiting kind of by the car or in the car.
No. He wants you to come inside, just in the waiting area.
Okay.
So that way,
Gotcha.
Victor and Francois can see you. But he's gonna go to the diagnostics computer, and he's going to see if any of the IU doctors are on shift.
There are 5 ICU doctors on shift right now.
Is there any on their break?
One of them is on their break in the break room.
Victor walks up to that person, and is there anyone else around?
Roll me a percentile.
/R 100.
Okay, I'm really suspicious why. Okay, are you rolling RD100 or are you just rolling R100?
R1D100. /R 1D100, right?
Okay, all right. Really
So
weird.
It's 97. But...
Yeah, that. Okay, see, the top one is just 100. The bottom one is 1D100. I think you. There, you were rolling literally 100. Okay, so.
I was so confused.
Well, you got a 97. The area is desolate, and based on your understanding, you determine that no one is going to come in. The only person here is the ICU doctor. His name is Reginald Barcelak, and he has red hair. He's a rather stout Caucasian male, and he is eating a tiki masala dejectedly as he looks over a single report from the upper wing. He has one of them on
Victor,
him.
Victor sits across from him, casts compel, and goes.
Oh,
"Take me to your data."
give me
Huh?
give me a rouse check.
Did compel use rouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
No,
does.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Yep. You are fine. He says, "Yes, of course." And
Yeah.
he walks over to the terminal, swipes his card, and it shows his patients, all 7 of them. Are you going to scrutinize the list?
Yeah.
You look over the list and you see his ICU patients have hemorrhagic fever. Very strange. The guy just got back from Ghana. Makes sense. A person who has suffered debilitating injuries resulting from a car accident. They are in the ICU. A person who has taken extensive injuries from a propane explosion. And a variety of other things.
Nothing about the. What did she call it again?
MRSA.
There's nothing about MRSA?
Nope. It seems his ICU doctor is not catering to those specific patients.
He does compel again. Tell me which doctor is dealing with MRSA.
It would be Dr. Ramajamavan. He's...
Take me to Dr. Grab Dr. Ramajan and bring him here.
Ian, you're cruel.
I know. I can't do that. He's sealed away in the ICU for the rest of his shift. You can't get in there without going through the maglock and the ultraviolet door.
Is the door connected to power?
It has its own internalized power source.
Where's that power source?
I actually don't know.
Who does know? Janitor?
Yes. Well, the maintenance crew. But they're not on site.
What are their names?
Victor Hernandez, Michael Pearson, and I always forget the third one's name. You can look them up in the personnel records. Those are available freely on the console.
I looked them up.
You get the previous 2 names, and the final name is Michael Shersong, and you have their addresses.
Okay. He's going to snap his fingers and the compel, and he's going to just walk away as he ends it. He's going to make his way towards the group.
You hear muttering from the inside the room. Oh man, my curry got cold.
He gets in from the group and he goes, "Hey folks, you mind if I speak to you guys for a second?"
Nice. Go ahead. Who are you talking to exactly?
Mercurio, Francois, and...
Okay, take it away, gang. I thought you were talking to the other nurses or something.
Oh, no. Do you mind if I grab you for a second? Just to talk to you all about something.
But of course.
Am I also involved in this or not?
Yeah, no, he's talking to all 3 of you guys. I assume you all kind of just like sat in the same waiting area.
Okay, I'm just gonna follow along. Can I just like watch out for the security cams as well?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an awareness intelligence. You use your deductive reasoning and a little bit of prescience to keep watch on where would be the most advantageous places to put a security camera, and you do a good job. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna be making a note of them as we go through. Just kind of like looking a bit away so they don't have an easy time getting my identity.
So I just talked to one of the IU doctors. Apparently the one that has the data on the virus that me and Abrosh got heard of earlier, the Mercia, the one that killed somebody is from the rack, is currently split off. Now we have 2 options here. We can try to get past the maglock, which is a difficulty of itself, or we can go hunt down one of the maintenance workers who has access to where the power ends, to where the power source of the maglock ends. I believe our Malkavian friend here, who I assume Malkavians are naturally good at obfuscate, can definitely try to sneak in during the chaos.
if you do
Mercurio
not
is
mind,
just gonna like nod as if this was obvious.
if you do not mind my pointing out, Victor, you wish to cut the power, correct?
Yes.
Oh wait, never mind. Actually, never mind. Because I just strike that. Never mind.
Cutting the power would be very, very dramatic, and would definitely be noticed by, well, everybody.
You are aware that in prior crises, the hospital has backup power. You're uncertain as to whether that would still keep the ultraviolet bath that occurs in the ICU unit for the infectious diseases operational. You don't know.
Okay, let's see here. They have a MacBook. Alright. Do y'all
Could
want
we
to go get enough
perhaps
to...
grab him on when he ends his shift? Or do you know when he is ending his shift?
He's already sealed off there, so it probably won't be for tonight. And we have a limited amount of time because, again, we need to return these things back to my Smith because she has to ship in the morning.
His shift ends at 9 a.m., by the way. You actually saw that in the records.
His shift ends at 9 a.m., which is too risky for all of us to be around for that.
In that case, perhaps we could suggest to one of the people we brought in that they're suffering from this disease. I'm sure they would not begrudge his friends joining them in the ICU.
True. I could maybe shift my appearance to the ICU and no, that would be too much. Okay. Trying to think of what we can do here. How about this? Mercurio, what exactly is your disciplines in obfuscate?
Hold up, I'm trying to. Here we go. I have a 3 in obfuscate.
Are you one that bends shadows, or are you one that disguises oneself?
Out of character, we did not go this far into depth. Can I just bend shadows potentially
Well, no.
around myself?
You have to. There's specific discipline abilities.
Oh shit. Okay, let me.
Oh, did you not pick yours?
No. I
Well,
didn't. I'm
well,
sorry. I thought it was just called obfuscate. I
We're
do
fi-
roll for how well you conceal yourself.
Oh no! Like every discipline pretty much has like 1 or 2 powers to pick from. The higher it is, essentially.
I'm sorry. Let me pull up the book very, very quickly. Install.
Go to page 261, and that is where obfuscate begins.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Actually, while Mercurio's trying to figure this out, I need to go and see if I can. So wait, did the doctor say that there was no way for him to go grab the doctor, or that he just couldn't bring the doctor back?
He couldn't bring the doctor out, but he could talk to the doctor. So you could theoretically have him say something to the doctor that would cause him to leave. It's just the doctor. You get the okay, let's just retcon a little and say that you spoke to him a little bit lengthier and determines that when the doctor is on his shift, he does not leave the ICU unit easily. So if you were to cause something to occur that would cause him to leave, he would do it. He's a very good doctor. He cares about people.
Do they carry their phones into the ICU?
They do
like
not.
Their personal cell.
They do not.
So perhaps a unfortunate death in the family could be.
Oh, that is such a good idea.
That is a brilliant idea. I'm so sorry. It's in the rule book, right? Which book is it in?
It's in the main rule book, 261. That is the page.
261.
Actually, wait. Do they? I mean, I don't know how detailed medical records would go, but will they show next of kin?
They would have. I've asked some of my doctor friends this. It depends. Medical records wouldn't have that. They would have emergency contacts, though.
Oh.
Okay, that works.
Can I go into the computer or can I say that like next to the doctors that were on thing, can I just see what their emergency contacts are?
Yes, for Dr. Ramajavan, it is his wife.
So
What's his wife's
perhaps
name?
like she could have fallen sick with some of the symptoms of this new disease as well.
It
Oh,
lists her email, her address, and her phone number.
Oh, it lists her address.
Mm-hmm.
That makes things much easier. Okay. He's gonna look at Ambrosia. How far are you willing to go to make the prince happy?
The prince's happiness is not my greatest concern.
Great. So, we can go kill her, or have someone break into our house, or, perhaps one of my many men could, break into her house and deal with that and whatnot. Do you think we should kill her?
What I'm just thinking is just we can go pay her a visit and encourage her to, she can become very sick very quickly. The human mind is quite susceptible to those kinds of things.
What I'm thinking is that there's no reason for us to leave when we have resources at other hands. I think that we should wait here. Obviously, the doctors will go to his wife, who perhaps is, killed. We end take his clothes, change my appearance to him, take his key card, and keep him knocked out for quite some time.
If we can gain access to him, I'm more than happy to use my presence to get him to do whatever we want.
I mean, that is perfectly fine. We really just need perhaps a panicked call or something. No need to go as far as killing. It is a very permanent severing of ties.
Rough her up, understood. Let me go make a call real quick. He's gonna go step outside.
Alright, who are you going to phone?
I'm gonna phone some of my ghouls so they can go and break into this poor lady's house and beat her up.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. Hey, how cool are you with beating up Indian people?
No, hey, real quick, get 3 of the boys, the most normal looking ones, go open this lady's house and beat her ass. I'm talking
No,
about
no. You want to make it look like a hate crime.
God damn it.
So Victor goes to phone and goes, listen, I need you to round up 3 of the big ones, the ones that look the most normal. I go to
Don't
this
forget the
address.
red hats.
Yeah, you go to this. I want you all to go ahead. I want you all to go put on some white hoods, break into this woman's house, and beat her up. Like, terribly beat her up.
Oh my god.
The white hoods of this day are the red hats.
We're going red hats. And afterwards, I want you to make sure she can use the phone to call the police.
They conveniently beat her every part of her body except her hand, put the phone in her hand, and have her call her husband.
Or even better, just have one of the ghouls kind of come in as the, seeing this shit happen and make the call for her.
Here, 1 minute. I have to... Oh, actually... How many points did you put into your personnel, Victor?
My personnel is 5, and I have, that's because I also have, armed thugs.
Shit. Okay, what stat level are the armed thugs?
I think level 3?
I think that's like exceptional mortal, right?
Yeah, but like, they're exceptional mortals, but they're also ghouls, because every one of my people are ghouls.
Alright then, we'll make some stat blocks for them. So right now, roll a 3-star stat that you have. It doesn't matter which one it is, as long as it's 3-star. And we'll see how many successes they do in this task.
Just a 3-1?
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one. Oh, do intimidation. You have that at 3. Do that. That's actually appropriate.
And also, I recommend you have another person kind of come in and actually make the call for them because she's unconscious. And, it makes it easier to sell, really.
Intimidation plus manipulation.
That's fine. Excellent work. It goes off swimmingly. 45 minutes later, you hear paging Dr. Ravalajaman, paging Dr. Ravalajaman, and you hear a faint flicker of power as he exits through the ultraviolet doors and comes out, and he's like, "What's going on with my wife? What is this? I have to leave immediately. I'll go to my parking. I'll go to the parking garage in my car." And like, "Of course, doctor. Of course, doctor." And he immediately enters the nearby elevator and heads up to the 4th floor, which has a skywalk to the parking garage on the other side of the city block.
I guess we'll just be waiting there with Francois or Ambrosia to mind control him.
I'll reasonably deduce that you figured out where he parked by glamoring some people or whatever. You arrive there, and he's like, "What is the meaning of this? Why are you on the way of my car? My wife is hurt. I need to get to her immediately. Please be gone."
Oh, no. We're here to help you with this very sensitive matter.
And, well, are you security for the hospital? I'd appreciate that right now.
Yes. Come on, come join us in our car. We are here to take you to the scene.
Wait,
No,
we're just. I thought we were just going to mind control to take us back to ICU. We just need to have eye contact with him.
Yeah, but I was gonna take him to the car so that he could, we could sit him down basically.
Sure. Okay.
And outside of the,
Oh, Victor, then we'll just one easy, unprepared compel him and go.
In the future, I'm going to be very firm on you having your plans well established beforehand. So bear that in mind.
Okay.
But
Okay.
for the
So let's make sure that we have the plan established right now. So the plan is that we're going to bring him to the car. We're going to use memorize on him, right? And then we're going to have him bring. I think you should just bring the nurse to ICU to stave off suspicions, right?
which nurse? You disguised as a nurse?
Yeah, me disguised as a nurse.
Okay.
And then we will, and then I guess I'll just get the data from there, and then he'll say, "Oh, I forgot something there. It's just I thought it would be," and then head back. Down.
Or Robert, he forgot his car keys or something.
Yeah, something along those lines. Using such a
That's totally fine.
Alright.
Alright, so going for the mesmerized. Rouse check.
What's your blood potency?
It's 2.
Mm,
2.
2.
Don't you get to re-roll rouse checks?
Yes. Ah. All right. You successfully manipulate him. He gets up, hands his key card, and says, "Of course, the nurse needs to see the patients. Come, let us go."
So now head off with him.
You skulk up towards the top level of the hospital, and you are in front of the magnetic doors, and there is a small sign that says ultraviolet bath required.
I'm certainly not going first. Sorry, I did more than others or something.
Okay.
You are about to have a very bad time.
What's an ultraviolet bath?
In a lot of high-tech facilities, whenever it's extremely dangerous, the intro area when you enter and exit the facility is an ultraviolet bath because that stuff murders bacteria and viruses.
Okay.
But it's
Vampires.
huh?
And vampires. It
Yeah.
affects me specifically.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry. That took me a second.
should've
I've-
actually probably
Oh,
Wait.
I've
Are there
referenced
any
it.
cameras?
I've referenced it multiple times that
don't
there's an
need-
ultraviolet
Are there-
bath.
Are there any? Wait, hold up. Are there any cameras in this room?
There is one that faces the door, and one that is on the other side of the door. But inside the chamber itself, there is nothing.
Okay. He is going to look at the doctor and go, "Is there any way? Wait. There's none facing me, right?
When you're inside, no.
I have a weird question.
Go ahead.
Could I, in theory, execute my bones to shield my flesh?"
Hold on a second. There's actually a specific, really weird table on ultraviolet damage. Let me go look it up really quick.
What I would suggest is okay, so is it only exposed skin, or like if you're protected by like strong clothing, would that work?
If you were wearing lead, you would be fine.
Oh.
Okay, so like a bio hazard or hazmat suit would not cut it.
Actually, ultraviolet light is relatively weak. So as long as the majority of your body was covered, you would only take mild aggravated damage.
Okay.
Think quick. You have 1 minute to figure out how to...
Can I Vicitude's bones to cover my flesh?
Jesus Christ. How long does it take for Vicitude to kick in?
Let's see. A scene, I think?
One thing I don't like about Vampire the Masquerade is the way they define time is very mercurial. A scene can actually vary wildly. So, let me think on this one.
I mean, how much damage?
Well, no. So for me, because of my Dark Bane, ultraviolet light is considered direct sunlight for myself.
Oh, that is not good!
You're the only one that applies to.
Yes.
Exactly. So what I'm
Can we
saying
just
is, like, I don't
Okay.
know.
Nurses going
Well, the
in
thing
and
is, I think we came too far. I didn't pay attention to it because I'm not affected by it, and in and out of character didn't know that this guy was gonna get his ass fucked up.
Yeah. Wait. Actually, can I compel the doctor to take me back to the car real quick, like out of this thing? Or
Yeah.
Stuck in this. Okay.
No, go ahead. Alright, go ahead.
One of you all, one of you all are going to have to be the nurse because the ultraviolet light will literally murder me.
Are there nurses going in and out of the place?
As
Or is it
you...
just the doctor?
There is actually a sign-in sheet on the exterior, and it seems that someone seems to leave about once every hour.
Oh, well, should we? I mean, I can just like presence a nurse to get her to take me in.
I mean, we get the doctor to go and take us in, and we go to his data because we need his key card.
Oh, that's true.
No, but I can make one of you guys look like the nurse I'm currently at.
Well, the thing is, it takes too long. Like, we should have probably done this earlier.
How long does it take?
A full scene to perform for me to change one of your appearances.
I can play. Well, go on. Go on.
Scene has a mercurial definition.
We'll say what, like 10 minutes?
The scene is basically like an encounter, right?
Yeah, it could be up to like a few minutes, 10 minutes. I'll say that it takes you about 20 minutes.
Alright, so who wants to be the person to go in?
Well, if the scene is mercurial, I'm Mercurio.
Disadvantage on all your rolls.
Alright, so I am going to spend dexterity plus craft. And I'm gonna take it, let's see, dexterity plus craft. Perfect.
Oh my god. Yeah, it is brilliant, and you actually managed to do it in 10 minutes.
Pretty much, you just imagine Victor's flesh like going into your face and like shaping it around like almost like clay.
So creepy.
And he takes off the clothes, hands it over to you, and then kind of takes a second to transform himself back to how he looked before.
I am an inconspicuous nurse.
Up to you now. Take the doctor. I believe you should be fine. And he gives her like, I think, should we wrap Mercury up with some bandages to better protect against the ultraviolet light?
Yeah, actually, ultraviolet light doesn't penetrate very deep. So if you were actually covered in like a hazmat suit, you would technically be fine.
That's presumably what the nurse's uniform is, given what's going on at the hospital.
It would actually not be unreasonable for the nurse to go in a hazmat suit.
He just said if it was me, that would have been direct sunlight, and I would have gotten my ass fucking burned off.
Yeah, you would have died. You would have died like instantly. It would not have been fun.
Yeah.
So I guess then they're going to the ICU.
Yips, you quickly make your way down. It is the doctor and Mercurio. On the exterior of the wall, you see a small little locker that is labeled disinfected hazmat suits. Are you going to put one on, Mercurio?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and do that. You slip it on.
Just
You
nope.
You enter into the ultraviolet chamber. You see the doctor cover his eyes and kind of coil up a little bit as ultraviolet light bathes you. Even through the suit, you feel that something completely alien to your situation is occurring. The anathema is bathing down upon your undead body, and you feel this visceral terror run down your spine for the first time in centuries. And then the doors open, and on the other side is a bright, sterile hallway. The doctor leads you down the hall towards his office, opens the door, and all of the files pertaining to the 10 patients who are in this wing from the rack. He starts making copies for you and hands you the stack.
Right. I'm sorry. Could you please repeat that?
He makes copies of the medical records
Okay.
that are in paper copy only and hands them over to you.
Thank you. I'm just like gonna take them under my arm.
Is there anything else that you need, nurse?
There's not anything else we need, right?
No.
All right.
Unless you want to like look around a little bit, up to you.
I mean, actually, can I roll like a quick? Can I roll some sort of quick investigation to see like, with whatever time I do have in here, just to see what I can observe?
Yes. You determine that the files seem to be the most salient thing. Maybe picking the brain of some other nurses in here would potentially be useful. But you are not authorized for this wing. So
Alrighty.
you should probably get out.
Cool. Thank him.
Give me a percentile roll. D100.
Okay. Oh, that's not a valid message command. Okay. How do I roll a percentile here?
Slash R.
1d100. Space between the R and the 1d100.
Ah, there we go.
See what we got here. As you leave, you notice someone rounding the corner, but they are too preoccupied to notice you with files, and they skitter past you. You skulk down the hallway. The door opens up. You are yet again bathed in that foul ultraviolet light, and you emerge and skulk off down the skyway to the car, and the thick stack of 10 patients' records are there in front of you. Excellent work, everyone. Oh, by the way, we are about at the 2-hour mark. How long do we want sessions to last?
I don't mind another 30 minutes of just wrapping it up, honestly. I mean, I could go longer, but up to you guys.
Yeah, I think
2 hours is about when my attention span starts to run low.
Okay.
let's do 2 hours, and we can have the 30 minutes be a rundown and kind of a wrap up. How's that sound?
Sure, and like I guess try and consolidate future plans.
Yeah, so I know what you want to do for the next session.
Yeah.
Do any of these files mention the nerve? What is it called?
MRSA.
MRSA.
You open the files up, and you are literate in the English language, and although you don't quite understand all the medical jargon in them, you can at least apprehend it. The victims are infected by a particularly nasty mutation of methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, also known as MRSA, as well as brucella and a variety of other zootropic diseases that are typically only found in dogs, but are known to transmit via dogs to people. The doctors are speculating that the people are pet owners, and their pets, by some unknown mechanism, developed these diseases and then passed it on to their owners. One of the files, the last fellow who died from MRSA, actually did not die from MRSA. He died from brucella, which is a gastrointestinal infection. Normally, they take weeks or months to develop into a point where the person cannot be saved. This person died within 3 days of the initial onset of the infection. The entire staff are puzzled, and it is why they are using hazmat protocols and using ultraviolet light when entering and exiting the ICU.
Whew.
So, I'm thinking that what we should do is basically keep the doctor sort of, like keep him like staying at home, keep him like happy, safe, and then basically use him as our pet medical expert, like mesmerizing him whenever necessary to understand the documents.
I could always take him home, extrude him, make him another blood-bond slave.
Yeah, that'd probably be really great. And from the sound of it, it looks like the mangy dogs may be the cause.
Should we just put his wife out of her misery?
No, would be good leverage.
Kind of dark.
Alright.
And also, like realistically, they will have lives, so it's better that they be able to interact with their fellow mortals. It's just
So
Yeah,
I like
him basically prisoner will create way more problems than it can possibly answer.
no, I'm just gonna blood bond him so that way he can be our medical jargon slave.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also thinking that we just want to keep them alive. That way, they can say, "Hey, I'm still alive. Nothing
Right.
strange has happened to me. You
Yeah.
don't need to look into this anymore. It's just a really unfortunate thing happened, and I'm acting a bit strange because of it."
So when he starts to head back out the parking lot, I guess I'll compel him to come back into the car, and then I guess I'll just take a small knife myself, prick myself, and then just drip some blood into it.
You commanded him to go into there and assist her in getting the records, correct?
Yeah.
You didn't tell him to come back out.
Wouldn't he? I mean, the memorize ends after a bit, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of curious now as to what happens when the effect ends. I imagine he's still in there just going about his business, and his shift ends at 9. So you could, next session, in the beginning, just do the same thing again.
Well,
And
my
wait.
question is, wouldn't he come out because we mesmerized him to go back in, grab some of the stuff, but he still should know that his wife was attacked and he needed to go get with her.
That's a good point. So after the effect wears off, because it's kind of ambiguous how long it lasts, he regains his sense.
It lasts until the command is carried out, essentially.
So as soon as he handed over the files and everything, he slowly came back into his consciousness, remembered his wife was harmed, exited and returned to his vehicle, and then you snag him again.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna, in the darkened limo thing, feed him some of my blood, essentially, and then let him go out. And he's blood-funded now, essentially, I think. And he'll pick up blood on work again.
Do you have any of the blood bond weaknesses?
No.
Alright, good.
Since the majority of my tools are underneath blood bond, I was like, hey, you can perfect that bitch.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. You do a marvelous job. And go ahead and give me the roll for the blood bond. Let me double check here to see what the DC would be on this. Gifts of the blood, dangers of the blood.
Blood bond, kindred.
Here we go, the blood bond. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, you blood bond him for a month. You need a rouse check's worth of vitae, so go ahead and make your rouse check.
Alright.
Ooh, the blood bond
do I get to reroll? I get to browse and reroll blood bonds.
Yeah,
Browse and reroll.
you get it because your blood potency is fairly decent, so you get to re-roll these, so you can do it one more time. Oh God. It does not take. It's been a long time since this occurred to you, Victor, but you can't get a pin on this doctor. He's too forceful.
I'm going to compel him to just sit down, and I'm going to take him home to just do it over and over again until I eventually blood bond him.
All right, you're going to hold him hostage then for a little bit. All right.
So I'm going to compel him to sit down and just...
Yeah, like we could do it basically. Like we could be taking him home in your car.
Yeah, that's
The end goal. So like we all can be holding him down, tinted windows, nothing to see here, guys.
Well, no, I was just going to compel him to just sit down and shut up, so that way we don't have to hold him down.
Okay.
Would he be trying to resist that though?
If it's on an unprepared mortal, then there's no roll required.
He's already been succumbed to your influence once, so it's reasonable to conclude that he is susceptible to further derelictions. He is emotionally fragile, which influences the blood state, so he'd be more susceptible to things of this nature. Perhaps you refer to, oh, we're going to help you get to your wife or something as you're attempting to put him under your aura, and that makes it a little easier to pull off.
Okay, gotcha.
And Victor's just going to undo the disguise on Mercurio so he looks normal.
Oh, thank God I'm a man again. All right, everyone. We are approaching the tail end. We are at 2 hours and 10 minutes. How would we like to wrap up the session?
I guess call the prince and let him know what we found.
All right.
I wouldn't say we found anything yet. I mean, we don't know what these contain. We have to read them.
I like the way you think, Mercurio. Fuck the prince.
Well, basically, we can tell him that we got someone who can probably tell us more about it, and that's it.
How about this? Let us go to my home and we can sit down and discuss these things in great detail.
All right. Do we want to end the session with a little discussion of what you want to do for next session?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you taking them to your haven, Victor?
Yes, I'll be taking them to my haven.
All right. Go ahead and describe the introduction to your haven and sit them down, and we will role play out the tail end of the session.
Pretty much his haven's in like it's just like more in the wealthier part. It's pretty much like by itself. You have these large black gates, and you see several men wandering the perimeter of the gate too, as he pretty much is, as they walk around and stuff. Pretty much there's like a huge, like, long bit of yard before you get to his actual house, and there up close you do see that a lot of the thugs there are a lot of the ghouls are a bit more mutated, essentially. As you walk in the house, you do see that a lot of it is pretty much normal furniture, very dark, gothic. Looks like the inside of a castle almost, things like that. But he takes you all to another room that he has in the house, which is for more private things. And inside, you see that almost everything inside of there is made of human flesh, like all the chairs and tables and whatnot.
Oh God, I forgot how fucking weird your house is, dude. All right, go ahead.
Take a seat, you all.
Francois takes a seat without hesitation.
Do any of you all want any specific thing? I have men, women, and children on tap, virgins or otherwise.
Do you still have that
blood never used in a blood ritual?
Of course. No, all of, wait, hold up. Let me try to find, the...
That was in character. Mercurio's curiosity has been piqued.
I don't have anyone involved in a blood ritual, though I can add that to the tab if you require. I can go find some Tremere that owe me a favor or whatnot.
Mercurio's gonna resist face palming. And just thank you for inviting us in.
No problem.
I would love a drink.
What would you like?
First available.
I mean, do you have any requests, children, anything along those lines?
I'm a bit of a sandman myself. Not the pickiest.
Sleeping. I believe I can arrange that. He snaps his finger and look, I just have to. He snaps his finger and essentially, pretty much, if I can, give me 1 second. Pretty much, like Ghoul comes in and he goes, also, Brody, what do you want?
Who?
A Brody?
Oh, nothing for me. I am quite satisfied with what I've had already.
And you, Francois, what you want again?
Do you still have that man who came from Romania, I believe? He had some sort of condition, I don't remember exactly what, but it was exquisite tasting. Is he still alive, still with you?
I believe he should be alive, if I'm not mistaken.
Magnifique.
He snaps his finger and he brings in what appears to be hold up, give me 1 second.
Take your time.
Real quick, Jahi, you are familiar. It is Victor who's being thick about virgin blood, not Jahi, right?
What do you mean thick about it?
Virgin blood. Originally, that the concept of virgin blood meant blood not previously used in any kind of ritual. Not of someone who'd never.
No. Okay, no. Then I had different ideas. I was not like that. I was just making a joke at it and stuff like that. Just because about like the weird lore surrounding vampires and whatnot about virgin blood, just to play it off of that. But pretty much,
that's all referring to. I just thought it was fun.
So pretty much, he brings in what appears to be a sleeping man who is horribly deformed and whatnot. Just seeing like pieces of his skin and flesh has been kind of like taken apart, and you see 2 ghouls bring them in front of Mercurio, and you also like the image is gonna pop up. The thing essentially just looks like, imagine like a human soda machine, essentially. Blood.
Oh God.
Alright, Mercurio's just gonna... Look, Mercurio just took a very, at least psychologically uncomfortable UV bath. He's just gonna begin.
And he sits down and, it's in the group chat. I can put it
Okay.
as the example. Yeah. Pretty much Victor just kind of looks at. So, now, we have these medical jargon and whatnot. And he is going to sit down the doctor and he's going to go, we were going to discuss later afterwards how the doctor comes to this information and whatnot. And I believe we should perhaps have the prince after we get a detailed examination of what we found. Any disagreements?
Anything, anyone?
Does not sound like there are any disagreements.
Alright then. Okay. I guess we want to just end it there, and that's what we'll just talk about next time.
Yeah. Mercurio's just munching on blood. Just munchy munch.
Alright, let me close out the recording.